ABC Wednesday, October 9th.
Y'all complain all day. We want books. We want paper towels in the classroom. Bet you want raises, too.
I'm still waiting on the paper towels.
Abbott Elementary returns with a new season.
We asked the district for more after-school programs. They gave us $50 for class pets instead.
Critics cheer. Abbott Elementary continues to be one of the funniest and most beloved shows on TV.
What y'all doing out there?
Taking bribes.
Proud of y'all.
Abbott Elementary, season premiere Wednesday, October 9th on ABC and stream on Hulu.
77 WABC.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
No, I get by with a little help from my friends.
George Benson. I used to love George Benson. 8:36. You've had a great show already. Great. Brian Kilmeade, Curtis Sliwa, Scott Lebedo called in. Bill O'Reilly still to come. That's the big one. And Sal Greco. And on this Eric Adams story, it's Sliwa and Greco. 1A and 1B. But Frank Morano's right there, too. Frank does a tremendous job. Not a good job. Gets big ratings. I'm going to say it sounds like Trump, but he gets big ratings doing overnights, the other side of midnight. My friend Frank Morano. And Frank, when I spoke to you this morning, you wanted to talk about the Adams story, but you really wanted to drive it home from the governor's point of view. Tell my listeners what you're thinking about.
Well, yeah, good morning, Sid. Thanks for having me. Certainly, we're living in interesting times, but I completely agree with what you and others have said about the defiant tone of Mayor Adams. I think it was up to him. He would continue being mayor even if he's governing from a prison cell. Right. Now, it really is not up to him, though. The governor, as you know, and as a lot of your listeners may know, has the ability to remove the mayor. And this is a particularly weak governor and a particularly unpopular governor.
You mean the governor who also has the power to remove Alvin Bragg?
Exactly. She's got the power to remove Alvin Bragg, but politically, I think that would have been a much more difficult thing for her because there are a few key differences between Bragg and Adams. Really, the only similarities are, one, they're both black, and two, they're both independently elected. In the case of Alvin Bragg, the only people calling for Hochul to remove her were Republicans. There wasn't a single Democrat that called for Bragg to be removed by Hochul. In the case of Adams, as of the time I got off air this morning, there were 26 elected Democrats, conservative Democrats like Bob Holden and progressive Democrats like Tiffany Caban, all calling on Adams to be removed. So
even well-known names like Angelo Ocasio-Cortez and two people running against Mayor Adams, if he is going to run again, Brad Lander and Scott Stringer.
That's exactly right. So you have to ask yourself the question, would Hochul risk standing up to her own party in order to save Eric Adams? I don't see it. I think there's going to be a tremendous amount of pressure on her from the party within New York and within the Democratic Party nationally to put an end to this and make sure that Adams is removed. Now, let's say she doesn't remove him. Then Brad Lander, one of the Democrats that you just referenced there, he is one of the people that serves on what's called an inability committee that's spelled out in the city charter, where a deputy mayor picked by Adams, the speaker of the city council, Adrian Adams, you talk about the Adams family, the controller, Brad Lander, and borough president Donovan Richards, and the corporation council, a position that's vacant, so it would be the acting corporation council, they get to determine whether there's an inability in the office of the mayor.
And just about all those people, Donovan, by the way, happens to be the borough president of my borough, Queens. But,
that's right.
Right, but all those people are not fans of Eric.
Except for the deputy mayor that Adams himself would pick. Aside from that person, they would absolutely get rid of Adams. So how impotent would it make Hochul look if she doesn't pull the Band-Aid off and instead leaves it to this inability committee? So whether Adams wants to or not, and I don't disagree with you that he doesn't want to, we're going to have a vacant vacancy and a nonpartisan special election.
Wow.
Because Hochul or this inability committee is going to take him out.
You know, Curtis was on this morning, and I thought Curtis's segment, I know you heard it, was really great today because here's a guy that rips Adams every day. But if you ever wanted to know for sure how much Curtis loves this city, he was defending Adams today in this segment at every turn because he's so deathly afraid of the alternative, which is Jumaane Williams, whether it's 60 days or 3 months. And he's right. Jumaane would be even worse than Eric Adams. But you seem convinced. There's no doubt that Adams is out.
I do. I don't see any way that Hochul not that she's a big fan of Jumaane Williams. Williams ran against her twice, so I don't know that she's looking to do him any favors. But I think if it's a choice between an embattled Eric Adams, whose only friends of late happen to be the center right in the Democratic Party and in the city as a whole, or Jumaane Williams, I think she'll absolutely put up with Jumaane Williams for 2 months. And I think that's where we're headed. And I think we're going to see the kind of nonpartisan special election that you and Curtis, Joe Borelli, and others have been talking about.
Advanced Radiation Centers of New York emphasizes the importance of prostate cancer screening and encourages everyone to schedule their PSA test. Early detection is crucial for survival. ARC is at the forefront with advanced radiation technologies to cure prostate cancer. ARC is the first in the U.S. to perform the BioProtect balloon spacer, which minimizes damage to healthy tissue. Get tested today. For more info, visit advancedradiationcenters.com, or you can call them 866-955-4ARC. That's 866-955-4ARC. We have been talking about it because Borelli called in last Monday when it started to become pretty obvious that Adams was going to be next and a special election might be in the not-so-distant future. He called in and he said, I would get involved in that. He would not get involved if Adams didn't resign in 2025, but if Adams is removed, Borelli jumps in. And you talked about this, and so did he. The crowded field, how everybody has an opportunity. Right. And Cuomo jumps in, and Borelli jumps in, and who knows who else? Maybe John Catsimatidis, maybe David Patterson. I don't even know. Maybe Harold Ford Jr. I don't know. But it's got to be great for Curtis Sliwa, no?
I would think so. I mean, look, there's no precedent for this, and anything can happen. And I think you'd see a number of other Democrats beyond the 5 that are running now. And in addition to Cuomo, I think you see Catherine Garcia jump in. I think you see Christine Quinn jump in.
Is Wiley done? Is Maya Wiley out? Is she done?
I don't think so. I think the strategy among the progressives had been to throw as many progressives in there and make sure that the DSA and the working families don't end up ranking Eric Adams anywhere, so that this way, if Brad Lander doesn't get enough votes, maybe Jessica Ramos will. If Ramos doesn't, maybe Zellner Myrie will. So no, I think Maya Wiley is absolutely still a candidate. But with ranked choice voting, with Curtis in there, with Joe Borelli in there, with John Tabacco in there, you mentioned John Catsimatidis, you could rank Curtis first, Joe Borelli second, John Tabacco third, and not have to worry about those votes being siphoned from one or another. Here's what helps Curtis. When you walk around the city with Curtis, which I know we both have, Curtis gets a reaction from everybody, not just Republicans. He lost that mayoral election primarily because he had a Republican label next to his name. In a nonpartisan election, there's no Republican label next to Curtis Sliwa or any Democratic label next to Cuomo or Stringer. All these guys run with a made-up party name, and they would be judged based not on their party registration or their party nomination, but on who they are as a person. So
interesting.
We've never seen this from mayor before. This is uncharted territory.
I got to tell you, if Danielle didn't threaten to divorce me every day, and that's the last day, that's the only thing in life I can't live with is Danielle leaving me, I would jump in. Why not? I mean, why not? What do you have to lose? Just to see how really popular I am in New York.
Well, look, I think you are tan enough to potentially get some of the black vote. You are Jewish enough to get some of the Jewish vote.
There you go.
And with ranked choice voting, you can get some of that Republican vote as well. I think you'd be very formidable. Why not?
Why not? So listen, on the way out, this was a great segment.
I'm not sure you have enough scandal to be mayor.
I know, thank God.
If you look at Cuomo, if you look at Stringer.
I don't even compare. What, I didn't pay a couple of bookies years ago.
You're an amateur.
Give me a break. Exactly. Last one here. So, again, you come on, you say you are pretty convinced that it's over, that Eric Adams is going to be out. That would lead to this special election. That would be done by the governor, Kathy Hochul. Give me the Frank Morano percentage that Eric Adams is out, not stays, out.
I would say 90%.
Wow.
I would say within the next 40 days, the pressure is going to come to bear on Kathy Hochul to remove him, that she's not going to be able to withstand it. If there's one thing Kathy Hochul doesn't have in spades, it is a backbone. And she's certainly not going to stand up to her own party, not by a long stretch. No way.
Well, I'm so glad you came on. That was great. I'm not sure you're right.
And keep in mind, by having Cuomo run for mayor, she takes him out as a potential opponent against her in 2026.
Right.
I think it's a done deal.
Which I've heard rumors that, if this crowd gets too crowded, this field, I should say, for mayor, that Andrew would even consider going against her. Who knows? He's everywhere. He's walking the streets. He's already shaking hands. I've had multiple conversations. He's coming back in some capacity, whether it's mayor or governor. So we'll see. But this is a very important and great conversation. This is why you own the overnights, Frank Morano. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sid. Appreciate it very much. Great show today, as always.
Thank you. You too. Have a great day. That's Frank Morano, the terrific host of The Other Side of Midnight. Folks, 1 to 5 a.m. Can't beat it. It's the best overnight show, I'm going to say, in the country.